Okay, what's up? This is VOD review for CG. We're looking at two sets, one against Revert in top 16 of Combo Breaker, which I watched live and in person. I've got some funny stories about this set. And another from top 6 of Uni at the EVO 2023 Community Showcase. Um, so, funny story about this Revert set. I'm sitting next to Ben Gosada as this match is happening, and CG gets up to go, and I forget who's. I think it might have been the Veed. I don't actually remember. But he's like, "You got this. Revert's a fucking masher." And Stranger turns around. He's sitting in front of me, and Ben and Ghost kind of looks over at me and is like, "He's not a masher." And Stranger's like, "He's not a masher." And and Ghost pulls out the notes on his phone, the Ghost notes. If anyone knows about the Ghost notes, you know what I'm talking about. And under Revert on defense, the very first line is not a masher, which I thought was pretty funny. But realistically, uh, you should be gaining your information from the set as you play it, regardless of what people say leading in. It can maybe inform your first decision, but at that point, it's still up to you to deal with how your opponent is playing. Because even if someone is historically a masher, or if they're historically willing to down back too much, sometimes they're going to mix it up. Mixing it up is a part of the game. So let's give a look at this. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to turn the audio off on this. So I'm going to preface this with that I do not know your character as well as you know your character. Normally, when I do these VOD reviews for people, I have a pretty sufficient understanding of their character. So this is more so kind of going to be focused around decision making and player versus player interactions as opposed to like direct answers to things. You know your character better than I do, so if I come up with an idea, then you can take it to the lab and see if there's anything to it, if you think it's useful. But yeah. So these first kind of interactions are going to show a lot. So Kuga Dash is pretty universally negative at first. And I shouldn't say at first. Kuga Dash is generally negative. I actually don't know if there's a spacing where it can be plus. I should make sure that I'm not talking out of my ass. So let me open the old Uni. But as that's opening, again, I think playing, especially when you're playing a character with a parry like Enkidu, information is the number one resource that you can have. The more information that you have, the more you can cash out on that information later in reads to turn situations. So okay, we're mashing a little bit early on the second 2A, which I don't hate. You know, you're pushing 5B, which is a good button for you. I actually don't even know your character's frame data off the top of my head, because I don't study this game as much as I used to. Enkidu Mizumi. I'm gonna have to confirm a bunch of stuff as I'm doing this review for you. But let's see. Enkidu 5B is 9 frames, and Enkidu 2B is 8. So let's look at this spacing again. 2A. Oh, you did press 2B. Okay, I'm sorry. And then it was the 5B afterwards that I'm thinking of. Okay, so we're doing staggers. So at this point, once you see this shield, this is kind of where you're like, oh fuck. Okay, I did too much stagger pressure, and my opponent decided not to mash. So this is kind of the point in the cycle that you need to realize, okay, they're willing to sit there. And it's now on you to make a play on offense for this cycle, which is still very winnable. That shield probably still wouldn't have won you the cycle, but let's take a look at this again. I think this is one thing that in general, a lot of I should see if I'm talking about my ass before you have this. Do you still have 5A left? You did still have 5A left there. The skill of doing stagger pressure and reacting to green shield on defense, not to throw it, but to then do nothing and have the green shield whiff and give a big grid swing, is something that I feel like a lot of players on offense don't think about enough. Like this is something that I learned a lot playing Wagner, is that You know, it's that kind of classic Red Blade versus Masoma at combo at climax style, where you kind of jail the opponent and wait for them to make the decision of green shielding, and then punish them by not hitting into it. Not necessarily by throwing it, but by not going into it. And especially with Enkidu's large stagger windows and the fact that you have relatively good reaction time, this is a skill that I think is definitely worth training, because at that point, you can no longer sit there and block. Because at that point, you have then presented the threat that you can reset pressure at any point, because if I tap D in order to, you know, try to gain some grid while you're doing staggers on me, you can now present the threat of stopping and then regaining a more advantageous spacing than wherever you are right now. So the cycle's probably lost. I don't know what this neutral jump is. Like, maybe you're trying to see a bust out 6-6C or something, but yeah, I don't really know what this neutral jump is. If you're scouting for information, like, definitely walking back against Linne at this spacing is dangerous because of 2C. But this neutral jump to me seems kind of weird. So you have like one opportunity here to make a play, and you have to make it kind of early, and you instead go to make it on beat 2 instead of on beat 1. Which again, I don't think is a problem, but in situations like this, decisiveness is key. So now you're down the cycle against Linne with no meter. Okay, I think I kind of see what this idea, that jump might have been. So up forward on -4, C follow up. I apologize that I have to look all of this shit up, but I'm not as studied in exact things as I used to be. Where is Mugen's C follow up? Mugen's C follow up is, wait, +4. That doesn't seem right. What? Oh no, that's the EX. That's EX Mugen. Yeah, sorry. -6. So yeah, up forward is pretty reasonable here. But again, threat of Linne with CS, even after the backdash, still get clipped. So I think if Linne doesn't have chain shift here, then up forward on -6 is quite reasonable. But especially with chain shift, like you have to respect this character a little bit more. Oh, clips the mash after the backdash. So this is, again, let's think about the cycle here. So you neutral tech, which doesn't lose you some cycle, but then you immediately back tech. So you're thinking more about the situation and the spacing than you are the cycle. And this dumb fucking rat is too fast, in my opinion, for backdash to be, especially when you have like a standard grounded backdash, for it, especially on Oki, to be super useful. I'm also like 95% sure that Linne can meaty with a hit stop OS where she'll 2C your backdash and meaty you otherwise. So reversal backdash, especially super early on, seems kind of committal for me. Now, this is also like top 16 at CB, so I can understand if you're a little nervous and you're not playing at 100% here. But you got to be more confident in yourself, I think. So we get smoked. We're losing the cycle again. You have meter, but they're going to be worried about. They're going to be thinking about it as well. Okay. Oh, did you get hit by the Skirty Ghost mix? Dude, 5C 2C. There's literally no mix, and everybody gets hit by it. I don't blame you for getting hit by this. I don't blame anyone for getting hit by this. Should anyone get hit by this? Like, realistically, you look at the numbers and it's like, no. But the fact of the matter is that this shit is cheap. Okay, so our defense is good. Yeah. So let's look at this again. This is definitely a parry read, where you're like, it's going to be 2C something. Maybe it's, 2C Kuga or something like that. This parry is reasonable. if Linne doesn't have chain shift. You know, this is kind of the thing that makes the way that you're choosing to play defense right now a lot less effective. Is that CS changes a lot of things, and you're playing defense on a layer of this is how I interact with the character, not as much on this is how I interact with the character with chain shift. And then yeah, I see 5C early on against Linne. It's like at that point you're not you kind of have to accept that that's not looking for a hit, that's looking to see if they're going to react. Because Linne's are force function smashers, and in that spot they definitely should be force function smashers. So first round lost really in 2 interactions with grid, where you lost the interaction on defense earlier. I don't know how loud this music is in the recording, but it's a little bit loud for me. I don't think it's that loud in the recording. Making the play on defense slightly too late. Again, maybe lack of confidence, maybe thinking about other things. It's a big tournament. Nobody's going to hold that against you. But those 2 Vorpal interactions are what cost you this round. So let's see. And again, this was like 40 seconds in real time. So this is a little bit on the fast side. Okay, I like the walk back round start. But then yeah, I tell a lot of newer players this as well, but assault is not an approach option. Assault, like, to get in just raw, to me always feels very desperate, where you look and it's like, oh fuck, I kind of lost because of me misplaying 2 interactions and now I'm down. I kind of need to force something because I feel more comfortable in the offense. I think you can afford to play that a little bit slower, because now you're gonna okay. So there you make the play on defense and it works. You actually commit to kind of the same shield timing. If you committed like 1 hit earlier on the shield, I would have really liked that. Let's see, when do you think about doing this parry? So you do okay. So it's shield parry to try to get something. I don't hate this, but now that you have this position, you need to like really be focusing on, okay, the only thing that my opponent is going to be thinking about is trying to play for the cycle or trying to play for a reversal. So you can't overcommit on offense, either by being too greedy or by doing too long of a string. And you don't. It's just some simple pressure. Okay, up kick. And that's what the Vorpal gave you, is it gave you a real knockdown off your anti-air. Oh, that's super tragic. And then this is super on point for Revert in this scramble to... Like, yes, I understand dash 2A is like just objectively the right thing to do there. But to have the awareness and presence of mind, it means that they've thought about that situation already, whereas you're thinking about this in the moment. I was talking about this a little while ago to some people on our locals broadcast, but the time to think is not in the interaction. The thinking needs to be done either before the interaction or as you're getting comboed. You don't really have a lot of time to think otherwise, and if you're spending time thinking, it means that you're slowing the pace of your decision making. And in that point, you had to think and they didn't, is what it looks like to me. So now, yeah, if you take this throw, then things get really spooky, especially with the cycle. Okay, I like this. Oh, 4C. 4C is a bit of a gamble, but I don't hate it. You kind of have to make a play. I really don't like not spending meter for this knockdown when you have chain shift. Spending meter here gets you the corner. It makes your life a lot better. You have chain shift on your offense. You're not really playing around the threat of throw that much. And again, like, assaulting against Linne players that are playing on point, it's like assaulting against VAT. Like, you kind of have to do it a bit to check them, but especially after your first one got smoked so quickly, it feels like you're not like taking your opponent into account as much. You're more so thinking about what can I do in order to continue my advantage instead of like trying to stay one step ahead and okay, what is my opponent going to be thinking about in order to mitigate my advantage? And in this case, it's just block. You haven't really presented a strong throw threat. It's like, yeah, you can sit here and frame trap for a while, but if Reaver's willing to just sit there, and again, this might be using the preconceived notion that you have coming into this set. Oh, that's unfortunate. All right, but we scramble out. We get a little messy, but we get on top. So again, now it's like you kind of you ski mask your way out of that one a little bit. I mean, and I think you know that. But now you're super down on meter. Oh, 4C is so broken. Again, I don't know what you're looking for with this neutral jump. Maybe you've had success against other people here, but to me, it's like this neutral jump to me looks very strange. Oh, what are they checking you on? Okay, this I actually think is a very good challenge from them. You've shown like generally safe and pretty tight offense where you're just going to do a bunch of frame traps to wait for them to try to fuck up, and they've decided that they're just not going to fuck up, which means that they've now bought themselves with some of their good boy points this mash. And now it's Linus, so you take 3.6. Oh, and it beats out the press. And you lose the cycle. So there's no point not to spend here. That, again, this scramble, Revert has clearly been in this spot and you haven't. Because that throw's just immediate. Okay, I like this challenge. Do you have a side swap? This is just unfortunate timing that you Vorpal strip them as they win the cycle again. Like, this is pretty fucking unfortunate. But also, you kind of have to make a play, though. I don't hate it. It's just kind of unfortunate. Okay, interesting. So, Revert actually reacted too early, which is insane to think about. Okay, you need to cash out here. Okay, good. Because you need to make some of this deficit up. Yeah, Revert has not shown that they're willing to DP. Oh, and then you just get reverse shimmied. Because you're worried about them reversaling, which they have not shown. Like, this is you playing around information that you have not gained from the game. And information that you have not gained from the game is not useful information. Unless you have gained it yourself. I pretty much never believe anything anyone tells me about someone until I play them and I see it for myself. But I'm also like a naturally very skeptical person. They know. They played this really smart. So at this point, you need to chill and reset your mind, because you came into this with the wrong mindset and you haven't changed that yet. So I want to see you show a lot more throw. A lot more throw on offense is the main thing. And then like those kind of slight changes in timing in your defensive decisions. Right now you're just like, you're on beat 2 on everything. And if you're on beat 1, then it forces a bit more of a response from your opponent on offense. Okay, we're looking for something. 2C rebeat up forwards? Isn't 2C rebeat like -1 for Lin A? Is this on the wiki or do I have to go to the game? (2C rebeat is -1. That is not really an up forward spot. Because I think up forward there might get smoked by 660. It gets smoked by 660 for sure. It might get smoked by 660. Maybe like a dash block in that spot. Or look for something. And now, yeah, it's Lin A playing around my opponent is a little frazzled. B Omega Plus, yeah. Honestly, this round, like looking at it, you were in this round by technicality, but like mentally, you weren't really in this round at all. Reaver had you in the palm of his hand because you were already gone. Okay, I like showing another defensive option, but now you need to present a plausible enough threat. And now, so now, I can imagine in your head you're a little scrambled here, because you went into the first game thinking, okay, they're not going to block, and then they sat there and blocked the whole time, and you're like, fuck, oh, okay, they're going to sit there and block, and now they've done the change up. So this interaction is what can then inform your decision making of, oh, okay, they're not blocking as much anymore, because it's about the adjustments in game that make the difference in sets of this caliber. Okay, the VO back. So like what you're doing now only really works because Revert's good. If Revert was a worse player, you would look a lot sillier. But because Revert's a good player and you're playing around throw timings and stuff like that in that 5A interaction earlier, and then here where they're going to play defensively they're going to play like close to the chest on defense and then take a risk and then go back to playing close to the chest. You are leveraging this, which is good. And you're taking a little bit more initiative now that, the same kind of round start interaction is played out a couple of times, which I like. I want you to spend for this knockdown. Okay, thank you. And so now you have plausible reason to think that they're going to reverse a lot of stuff. But you have to remember, you always have to think of the concept of good boy points. Is that Revert blocked for a little bit so that they got enough good boy points to DP in that spot, which means that they don't have good boy points anymore. So unless you're a psychopath, then you don't have any good boy points to cash out on a reversal. Now, some people are psychopaths, but from the interactions that you've seen, it's very safe to assume that Revert is not a psychopath. And see, now they're getting a little greedy with their good boy points. I want to see you try to bait the CS, and this is good. You haven't really presented the threat of throw as much, like I was talking about before. This is a good game from you. You can look at this in two ways. You can either say, okay, you ended up on the right layer, and how you ended up on the right layer is kind of the point that's up for contention. Did you end up there by mistake because you came in on the wrong layer and then Revert ended up going into the layer that you were on? A little bit. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit of that. But it's also you sticking to your guns and saying, no, this is my game plan coming into this, and I'm either gonna win with it or I'm gonna lose to this. Which you have to respect to a certain degree. So at this point, this CG cannot be thinking about the fact that you kind of just happened to win this game. You didn't really make any like exemplary decisions in this game. You ended up making the correct decisions, but kind of because your previous information was wrong and then became right later on, which is kind of a interesting thing to tackle with, like whether or not something was objectively the correct decision with the outcome of it completely removed. So now it's spooky. Now everybody gets nervous. It's game 3, top 16. This is it. So we're backing off a little bit. Okay. So now at this point, they've immediately cashed out on good boy points that they don't have and are mashing, or they're trying to check your offense. And you're sticking to your guns and you're saying, no, I'm gonna continue doing these like long staggered strings. And they could have been playing for grid here instead. And instead of playing for grid, they chose to press. And now you have an advantage. And so how do you continue this advantage? To me, it's you don't lose this advantage. So how do you lose this advantage? If your throw gets teched, if you like randomly try to assault on crouching Linne who's just waiting for you to do something, or you get reversal and back tech. So I like the slight delay meaty. This 5B I think was a little bit too much. And especially this afterwards. You're probably still going to win this cycle, but this is like almost losable. And you actually lose the cycle because of it, because the grid swing is large enough. This is a spot where, like, if you were content right here, even to just do nothing, you know, like maybe slight walk back crouch so that you don't get smoked by a 2C, then you now have the grid cycle corner positioning. Next hit is going to be a good knockdown into next touch wins. That's a great spot for you. But you're kind of only thinking about the frame data and not the grid cycle in offense like this. So we end up throwing the cycle away. And now you're like really trying to bait the cycle out of this guy, and he's not biting. And so finally, again, you haven't really shown this threat of throw, and so they don't really have like a ton of reasons to be afraid of throw, which is why throw then becomes good. So now you have the cycle, they're grid broken, they don't have meter, so they can't let like an ADP EX Cougar rep. So at this point, okay, this was a 2A. If this was, honestly, if you had gotten thrown here because you did 180 AD to try to chain shift in that spot, and you input it in 3 frames instead of 2 or whatever, instead of you like trying to check the dash, I think I would have liked that decision a little bit more. You trying to check the dash here, you kind of have to use the resources that you win. So now it's like, now this cycle is hard to win on offense. And they actually like kind of overcommit to a VO, I think. I think if they had like just pressed shield here and committed a little less, but it's game 3 in top 16. Everyone's a little scared. Oh, thanks, Brandon. Yeah, you kind of got cheesed out here. This is why delay tech, when you're scared, is very good. Because all of this funny business doesn't work against delay tech. But it works if you're a little spooked and you immediately want to get back into the game. So this set to me is a lot of mental. Like mental and like all of the stuff that's outside of the game, which is always the hardest, in my opinion. I think one of the reasons why people continue to ask me for VOD review and stuff like this is because I have thought about that outside of the game a lot. Both in like going to therapy and forcing myself to be introspective about things like this. But like the mental aspect of fighting games is the hardest part because it's not how people think unless you're trained psychologists or you spend time with a trained psychologist. Okay, so you're going to get cashed out. Oh, you didn't get cashed out on, so instead you take a 2k throw. Yeah, again, this assault, 2 games ago, you block for free. These combos, Revert hits for free last time. And then Assault JA, when you're spooked, that's when you really got a better player someone to block an Assault JA like that. So your mental's like kind of overloaded. I like this jump in neutral. Actually, do I like this jump in neutral? Let's look back. I shouldn't say that I like it because it worked. Let's look back at this. No, I do like this jump in neutral. This jump in neutral was good. Kind of unfortunate that you fell with JA, so it was a little harder for you to get a counter hit. Oh, no punish with the DP! Oh, he's too nervous. Okay, so again, let's think about why this reversal worked. And why you blocking this reversal worked. So at this point, Revert has no good boy points. 0 good boy points. Get the knockdown, dash up. This is also like kind of strange from them that they don't commit to ADP in this spot. I think if you get hit here, it's like, well, fuck me, I guess, but I have like 3k health. Technically, I'm still allowed to lose this round. This BDP seems kind of overcommittal on defense to me from Revert, but I can understand it as well. And then you miss your punish because you're nervous. And now we're scrambling. And like Linne and scrambles is amazing. So now we're really spooked. Because now we're grid broken. They have Vorpal. Okay. We're fuzzy blocking IC5C correctly. Oh, and then the parry gets baited. This is why I fundamentally dislike parry as a defensive option, especially Uni's implementation of parry, where it's active for a really long time. Like, I 100% think that you should get your ass smoked for this parry. And if we look back at the situation again, it's like, what's the spot that you're parrying in? You're parrying at -6. But was that -6 or was that -2? Which Mugen follow-up was this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so yeah, it's what, like -1, -2? Lin is cheap. -1. So you're parrying on -1, which is, it's like, okay, yeah, you can gamble here. And maybe you're thinking, oh, okay, I can gamble because I'm about to win the cycle. But to me, gambling on -1 when you're down, and again, this is very easy for me to say after the fact, because my decision making is, you know, being able to pause and look at things, not being in this top 16 match. But I think this is a game 1 risk. I don't think this is a game 3 risk. Well, I feel like you should have taken like 400 more damage from that. Okay, so yes, meaty here. Because the last time they didn't have enough good boy points, you killed them for it. Where's the throw? Where's the throw? Where's the throw? Where's the throw? Where's the throw, CG? Look at the cycle. Where's the throw? You haven't gained enough information on offense to like really know when their timing is. So you need to gain that information. And you're running out of games to gain that information. Okay, I like this FF because they're trying to cheese you out again. I shouldn't say it's cheesing it out. It's a good option, especially when it kills. Assault J is cheap, especially when you're frazzled. Oh, this is so spooky. Okay, tries to net play you. This is you doing everything that you needed to do on defense. That was you doing everything that you needed to do on defense. And Revert honestly like outplaying themselves. So this is kudos for you here. I don't know why this motherfucker's talking to you in this situation when you're going into final round in top 16. But like, I'm personally, I'm not entertaining this at all. Like, the fact that there's a person sitting next to me is a byproduct of the situation. But you're both losing your minds. It's crazy. God, I fucking hate parries. It's like, look at how late into this parry this is. Oh, I hate parry characters. That's besides the point. You are leveraging the information that you have to make some reads, and now they're starting to pay off a little bit more. I really am never a fan of VOing a VO, especially when you already showed this option. Like, this is a very risky option to me. And we're letting it rock again. And you get smoked for it this time. Do you get turbo smoked for it? Oh, you got pretty smoked for it. Because now you're out of time as well, and you've lost the cycle. So Revert's offense at this point has been, like, consistently very safe. And so, like, now when you're making your decisions on defense, to me feels a little bit better. Where it's, you know, you have a little bit more information on how they're liking to play offense right now. And so this jump comes at, to me, what seems like a bit more understandable time. 2A jump? Oh, it's after the 2B, actually. Never mind. Oh, the ADP? That would have been crazy if they picked that up. But they didn't have meter. Oh, what is this jump? What is this jump shield? What are you trying to do? Who are you trying to be? This has to be nerves. That has to be nerves. That makes no sense to me. You are feeling yourself. And I commend you for feeling yourself in this situation, but holy shit, is that scary. Yeah, just keep them there. What the fuck are they going to do about it? Oh, they're going to press their huge C normals. Yeah. they're going to press their huge C normals. This is where, like, to me in this spot, you understood what your win condition was of like jailing them into this spot, but didn't necessarily have the experience in this spot to like leverage it and capitalize on it fully. And it's spooky, so like this is something that like Revert has over you in the set in general, is that they have chosen to make their decisions on defense a lot faster, and it really works out for them here. Now, I don't think she's going to get the meter to Vorpal Strip you, and she doesn't win the cycle. Okay, now this is spooky. Dash up. Bro, you have the cycle. If you're so worried, dash up CS. Or dash up, like, FFCS, or whatever your reversal safe media is. Oh, and then... Oh, the jump. This jump... Is this a dive kick? Can I tell if this is a dive kick? God bless the YouTube player. Is this a dive kick? Come on, frame by frame. I can't even tell. That just looks like a jump to me. And Revert does the thing that makes sense. I have a 5-frame 5A. It's neutral CS. I'm just going to press 5A. Don't be happy. You can be happy for him. I shouldn't say that. You can be happy for him. But again, your decision making in Kidu versus Linne wasn't really like it was solid. You made a lot of the right decisions in Kidu versus Linne. Where your decision making kind of faltered here was in CG versus Revert on this day. And I think that's the big takeaway you can make from this set. I don't know if you have time to fuck around and implement some of these ideas, but I hope that gives you some things to think about. So let's move on to the next match, which is your set against Mr. James Ingoff. This is also first to 2. Okay, so you've played Sean. I'm expecting you to know how to play this matchup. I shouldn't have to say that. But the one thing that Silent has over Sean in a lot of these is the player versus player, like layer 3. So let's see what happens. I like the dash block. All right, yep. We're looking to press the D button. We're fuzzy blocking when we need to. Okay, we're counter poking confidently. This is a good sign. This is a good sign for CG. And we're winning the cycle. And then you let Phonon mash on you. You let Phonon with no reversal have an ass bitch did wake up 5A on your knockdown. If you don't think you're going to make it there, you kind of have to understand when you're going to make it there or not. And at this point, that's also Silent chump checking you, where he's like, how nice is he playing right now? And that's another thing that you can think about with your decision making in spots, is that regardless of the outcome, sometimes you make a decision to gain information. And the result of this is that Silent knows that he can play a little bit more confidently because you're not on your game right now. Yeah, Silent loves that shit. Cash out and win the cycle. Okay, so what do we mash on? We mash on 2A 66B, which again is you think about what information did Silent just gain? Oh, he missed his media on his first knockdown. Okay, and then I hit him with funny corner steal stuff. Okay, let me see. I feel like I can feel myself. And so you go for an option where you're feeling yourself, and you check it. Did you check it for that reason in this instance? Only you can know that. But either way, you get the hit, you get the conversion. There is nothing for you to be afraid of here. Phonon cannot do shit to you in this spot. Who fucking cares that she has the cycle in this spot? What's she gonna do? This was a good check though. You know, pressing 2B after shielding 2-2A. 2-2A is +1. I'm literally wild guessing. Again, I don't know your frame data off the top of my head. I have to scroll down. Oh, 2-2A is -2. Okay, so -5, pressing an 8-frame move. Yeah, that makes sense to me. That adds up. Okay. Good job on you for not getting hit by the ultimate phone on chump check of anything into B pillar CS. Okay, you got this. How good are we feeling? Oh, we're not 100% there. We're not 100% there. Even if Silent loses this game, he has information again that you're not entirely on point. And I think that is what the last interaction of this set is going to come down to. Full disclosure, I have seen this, but I watched it live and it's been a while ago and I haven't thought about this at all. And so this motherfucker just runs the same game plan. Says, oh, this guy's not as nice as me right now. So let me be him. And you die for it. Okay, but what information has been gained? That you're a little bit shaky and that he will feel himself. Yeah, I like this 4C. I like this 4C a lot. Again, like your decision making in Phonon versus Enkidu is good. You know what you're doing. I think, just as I say, you know what you're doing. This dive kick to me seems kind of head ass. Because if she's gonna like do anything, like maybe it beats a random wake up 2B, but why the fuck are you waking up with 2B on Phonon? I don't know. That seems weird to me. Okay, you're just better at this game than me. I don't mash in this spot. And that kind of looked like a reaction mash. Okay, please kill him. Okay, nice. So again, that's literally the exact same situation that happened in game 1, but the scramble goes in your favor, so you take it. So again, you're not playing 100%, and in most tournaments, you aren't going to play 100%. In most tournaments, you're going to play like 70 to 80% at best. And that's really where like bringing your floor up and working on your C game, because like you're not going to be on your A game, and you might not even be on your B game. So your C game needs to be up to par. Because you can't look at these first 2 rounds and tell me that you're on your A game. You're like working on a B- game at the moment. Also, let me watch this again. Oh, you're like hard reading jump back fireball or something like that, and then you're forced to get smoked. Okay, the classic. Okay, so you saw him stand up here, right? You saw him stand up. That's an OS timing. Let's see if you remember this OS timing. You don't need, probably not right now, but on your next knockdown. That's the classic. I want to see the spot that led into this one more time. Yeah, kind of awkward fireball. I think it's green shielded. Okay, we win the cycle off of that. Okay, so we know that from the last interaction that this is the timing that Silent will like to make a decision. At least right now. Obviously, good players will change this timing, but everyone kind of tends to have the same starting timing for when they make decisions on defense. And so here, 5A, 5C, awesome option to, if you want to confirm your information, or even just going into a longer string and seeing if you can confirm your information with, are they crouch shielding? Do they stand up? Things like that. which can be hard to look for. I'm not going to say it's easy. Oh, I think he tried to Vorpal Strip you and just kind of fucked it up. Honestly, that's not even a... Fucking up with the Vorpal Strip actually kind of worked out great. Oh, and then this is the trade combo. Yeah, he knows what he did. He knows what he did. And you are nervous. You are a nervous little boy at the moment, which is fine. You will be a nervous little boy on stage. And sometimes you'll be him. And it's about understanding how to play with where your mental is at. And that first game to me is like definitely indicative of you're not super comfortable in just saying to yourself, okay, I'm not playing my A game at the moment. Let's change things up a little bit. Which like takes a lot of humility, and you have to get over your own ego to be like, you know what? I'm not him right now, and that's okay because I can still make this happen. So let's see what else we got from here. Oh, these 4Cs in neutral. You're looking for these big reads with, in my opinion, not enough immediate information. Okay, we're pushing the D button. We're up forwarding on defense, and then what did you jump on? I'm assuming you got hit because you were jumping. Oh, 4B rebeat 2B. That's the classic. Bone on. Give me what I'm looking for, Mizumi. 4B 2A is -4. Right, that's what happened. This is 4B 5A. I'm sure it's about the same. Wants to strip. Okay, I think he is scouting for a shield in this spot. And you say, fuck it, we ball. And I'm not 100% sure how I feel about saying fuck it, we ball in this spot. Do I think that you need to make something happen? Yes. And so saying fuck it, we ball in that sense to me is like, yeah, that's cool. But also if fuck it, we get meatied while they're in VO, we're dead. And so, like, you're gambling a lot. And you're playing a character that allows you to gamble, but that doesn't mean you necessarily have to gamble. And maybe this is your fallback plan where, like, you've admitted to yourself that, okay, I'm not playing 100%. I'm going to gamble a little bit more and see if I can fucking hit the nuts on the river. And that's definitely not stable, but you only need 2 games. Okay, and this is big for you. Yeah, like there's nothing that you need to be scared of from Phonon in this spot. So just keep doing the shit that she can't do anything about. Like these situations are where you're comfortable. From what I've seen in these sets. Like when you're in this spot on stage and you get into a spot where it's like, okay, I'm just allowed to run what I have practiced. That's where you're chilling. Oh, the best farm on the game. I definitely would have sat there and won the cycle. And you said, nope, we're holding W. And then again, why are we not meeting Phonon? He has used his good boy points on a reversal, and now he's holding 9. DP? Oh, I like the idea to dash under. But you got, again, he has thought about this situation already, so he does not need to think about it now. And now you're in the spot of, I dashed forward, but oh, fuck, she's still over there. The shield was a little spooky, especially knowing that, it's silent, and he has shown to you already that he's going to funky corner steal stuff. Okay, nice. You're still cognizant to fuzzy when you need to. Oh, this is like you're trying to better player them, but like he in this moment I don't think is convinced that you can better player him based on how the interactions have gone. Like if I have the information that I have here, I'm like, oh, I can just better player this guy. And so when you come in and try to better player me with, oh, I'm gonna do Dark Souls no cancel and try to better player them, is like kind of unfortunate. That being said, you are still putting the opponent in the position to make incorrect decisions on defense, which is important. Oh, if you picked that up, you would have been so nice. Okay, we're bleeding a little bit of grid. But silent is... All right, so now you have given him a reason to believe that you are still in this set. Based on like the information that Silent would have had here, I don't blame him for playing how he played. You were kind of playing pretty shaky, and he probably thought, okay, I can take some risks and I can try to better player this guy. And you didn't let him do that. So kudos to you there. But now it's game 3. Now Silent knows, okay, I got to tighten things up a little bit again. So we'll see this game 3. Your round start dash 2A gets thrown immediately. Yeah, this is just overextending a little bit. Okay, nice. That was on reaction. Dude, Silent's fucking mashing against you at the moment. Yeah, and now, he's cashed in the good boy points that he doesn't have, which means that you can now safely read action spots. Okay, this mash, that mash was kind of crazy. Like, I hope you know that you should have died for this mash. Like, you should have turbo died for this mash. On delay fireball that's like +2 and frame traps. And he tried to get a little bit cheeky. And you are checking him for trying to get cheeky. It's okay, combos are too hard. Oh, you actually... Silent is too good in these spots where, like, you are trying to escape via the air. I got smoked by this in my set against him, too. It's like a different layer of this interaction, but the same idea. Okay, we don't even want good knockdowns. Check. Nice. What is he trying to do? That's just a stand shield. All right. So now you have the momentum. And the only way that you lose this is probably if you start crumbling. As long as you continue to play solid, then it's looking good. Now, will that happen? Let's see. All right, we're taking initiative, which I like. Yep, take your turn. Yeah, showing a little bit too much jump on defense. That's like an option that you rotate in occasionally, I think, not something that's as go-to as you've been using it. Oh, I like these dash blocks, but again, you're making these decisions on beat 2 afterwards. And Silent just beat 1ing you. DP, yeah. Okay, we're just checking with 5B. Okay, so you gained some information on his OS timing there. I like that you didn't actually option select there. Yes, just keep playing tight. Just keep playing tight. And spend your fucking meter. You're gonna lose the cycle anyways, it's fine. It's okay, we get scrambly. Losing an RPS scramble is acceptable. Inevitable. Oh, same fucking brain cell. Okay, you're focused up. You're confirming, you're picking things up. You gotta do that the first time. You gotta do that the first time. You have information and you gotta use it. Oh, unfortunate misinput, but you don't die for it, so we're chilling. Oh, because it wasn't assault. It was forward jump. Okay, you actually kind of got better played here, but it's fine. Oh, I think you were thinking about foreseeing, and then you were thinking about foreseeing instead of foreseeing, and you were thinking about shielding, but instead of shielding or foreseeing, you sat there thinking about stuff. Okay, but I like that you're still trying to take initiative in spots. Yeah, strip again. That could have gotten spooky. Okay. Just chill. Okay, we're chilling. Oh, but because we were chilling, yeah. This is exactly it. This is the... Like, look at the sequence. It's like, okay, I just got Vorpal stripped. Okay, let's just not lose right now, and then we can win the game later. And then it's... Okay, nice, we haven't lost the game, and then... Oh, fuck. But then he doesn't kill you! And the read pays off this time. Does that mean it was correct? I'm not convinced, but it did work. And we've got to give it up there. He knows it was a good set, though. He knows it was a good set. And it's because it was a good set. You played well. And like I mentioned, I'm not going to review your VOD and tell you how to play in Kidu versus Phonon. But I can review your VOD and give you a better understanding of how to play CG versus Silent on this day. Dude, where the fuck is this music gone to? Anyways, I hope that helps. Good luck, Otaku, and hopefully this is useful for you.